Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Waihiga. If you are new here, I hope that you stick around and take a listen to what I have to share. Today, I want to read out of the Daily Reflections, which is a 12-step program literature. And I'm just ongoing. This is something that I love to do, just read out of 12-step literature and basically tell you my thoughts about it. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and these are some of the tools that we use to keep sober just for today. So let's get into it. Today's daily reflection, self-honesty. April 18th. The deception of others is nearly always rooted in the deception of ourselves. When we are honest with another person, it confirms that we have been honest with ourselves and with God. That comes out of As Bill Sees It, page 17. When I was drinking, I deceived myself about reality, rewriting it to what I wanted it to be. Deceiving others is a character defect, even if it is just stretching the truth a bit or cleaning up my motives so that others would think well of me. My higher power can remove this character defect. But first I have to help myself become willing to receive that help by not practicing deception. I need to remember each day that deceiving myself about myself is setting myself up for failure or disappointment in life and in a 12-step program. A close, honest relationship with a higher power is the only solid foundation I've found for honesty with self and with others. So that is today's daily reflection, and it's about self-honesty. And definitely as an alcoholic, I can relate. When I was drinking, I used to think I was the realest person around. I used to think like, I have it down, I am so real, everything that comes out my mouth and comes to my consciousness is realness. I just spit real. I spit reality. That's who I am. I thought that leaning into my alcoholism was the realest and the truest version of myself, because when I was drinking without breaks, without limits, I thought that was me being my true self. I'm not stopping myself. I'm not limiting myself to these urges. I'm doing what comes naturally to myself. So I believed that when I was drinking myself into the dumbest stupors that I was drinking myself into, that this was me authentically being who I am. As crazy as that sounds. Because I wasn't resisting. I wasn't resisting the urge to drink. I was following through. That is the deepest point of denial I reached in my alcoholism. Well, if you can't join them, beat them. That is the level of defeat I reached in my alcoholism. And so I just used to walk around getting drunk, not being able to hold down a job, not being able to make money, drinking off of other people, sitting in bars and basically waiting for people to pity me and buy me drinks. And then I would get drunk and then commence to have, I don't even know what kind of conversations, and think that this is honestly the truest form of Waihiga, and this is a self-actualized Waihiga. Proceed to stagger home drunk at whatever time it was. Wake my parents up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. in the morning. Come home drunk, flop onto bed, come to the next morning and do it all over again. And I lived this way at the end of my drinking for about a good 5 years. I didn't have many periods of clarity. But when I did, when I had a moment of clarity, meaning I was sober enough to grasp the truth, I listened. And there were a few things that bothered me about that. The first moment of clarity that I had in my drinking was when someone close to me in a family told me, fortunately or unfortunately, you're someone who can't drink. As much as you love to drink and you love this thing, you are not a person that can handle alcohol. And I took that to heart because I tried to understand what they were saying. What do you mean I can't handle alcohol? What do you mean I can't handle my liquor? And why is that fortunate or unfortunate of me? I thought about it and then I got drunk. It was probably 2 years. And then I had my next realization. And that now came from within. That the problem is alcohol. The problem has always been alcohol. The reason I'm in all the problems I'm in is because my solution is alcohol, and I need to find a way for my solution to not be alcohol. How do I do that? When I got to that realization, when I became honest with myself to that degree, help came to me within 2 hours. Within 2 hours, on the 23rd of February 2017, God was working plans out. Plans had already been made, interventions had already been made, people had been called. And within 2 hours, people who drank like me, thought like me, lived like me, but were now sober, were talking to me about their drinking, and were telling me how it is possible to live a life of sobriety. And I believed them. And at that moment, I was ready. I was ready. I was done. I was done with my old life, and I was ready to go into the unknown. And I believed these people because they drank like me. They knew what alcohol meant to me because I knew what it meant to them. And I completely believed them. And they told me about how they were living sober lives today and how their lives were happy. So when I was honest enough to say, okay, I need help. Not only do I need help, I've messed up. And not only have I messed up, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. That's when the help came. So this reading is really important about self-honesty. Every time I find myself in a difficult position, every single time, it's either I'm in denial, I'm not accepting of what is, or I'm not being honest with myself. And the second I am able to be honest with myself, that means I'm able to be honest with God. And God is able to use people and to use things to help me. But as long as I'm living in denial, as long as I'm saying there is no problem here and looking the other way, as long as I'm saying my ish don't stink, the longer the problem will persist. And that is a really painful thing to watch other alcoholics go through, because I know many people, many people who need to be in a program of recovery, but they will not be in a program of recovery. Why? Because they're not honest with themselves. They're not honest with themselves about how bad they've got it. They still have some semblance of hope in the drinking. And any alcoholic knows that that semblance of hope has to be completely smashed if you are to have a chance in hell to make it in recovery. I cannot convince anybody that drinking is not good for you, that drinking is not the solution. I can't convince an alcoholic of that. You as the alcoholic must be convinced of that by your experiences out there. And unfortunately, a lot of us lose our lives in the process of that journey. A lot of us don't make it to recovery. We die because we're living very high risk lifestyles. And then another portion of us don't learn from our drinking buddies. Like for me, I saw 5 of my drinking buddies die. Like I saw them die. Did I learn from them? No. In fact, I said that's never going to be me. That's what I said. These are people that were drinking. We were drinking together. And I still made excuses and said, no, I'm going to drink smarter. I'm going to drink better than they did. And I'm not going to end up in the position that they did, dead. So we don't even learn from the mistakes of our drinking buddies who died. An alcoholic only learns from their own pain and their own experiences with alcohol. And the pain has to be so great that they are convinced, yeah, there's no hope for me in drinking. I've tried 1,000,001 ways to drink safely and it doesn't work for me. I give up. And that's the beauty of self-honesty. Nobody can give you that. It's only found within. There are many people I wish that I could give that self-honesty to. Many people. Many people need to be working this program of recovery. Many people need to be working in sobriety, need to be in a program of recovery right now. Many people that I know, but they're struggling. And I cannot give you self-honesty. I can't give you the gift of desperation. I can't give you the willingness. It takes to work your butt off every day in a program of action. and do the vigorous work of remaining self-honest. So tell me in the comments down below. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think. How is self-honesty working in your life? Are you self-honest with yourself? What do you believe about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let us keep talking. Until the next video. Bye-bye.